Welcome back. If this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel, thank you so very much. I hope that my story could help you in any way. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. Either way, please make sure you like, share, comment, ask questions, and subscribe. Make sure when you do subscribe, however, that you do hit the bell on the subscribe page so that you are notified every time I upload one of these videos. In my last video, I left off with talking about the demise of my marriage and finally deciding that I wanted to file for divorce. So we have been separated for about 2 years. I was now coming out of a state of depression that I didn't realize I was in after about 2 years. I was in church. I had been a member, my daughter and I had been a member of our new church about 3 years or so. My mother had come to visit with us, so we're visiting in the church. And during a point of the service, usually during offering, they'll put announcements and advertisements up on the screens. One particular advertisement came up and my mother pointed to me and she says, or looks over at me and she points to the screen and she says, I think you should join that or sign up for that. It was a workshop / seminar, I don't remember exactly how they titled it, about moving on. So it was for persons who were separated, going through a divorce, or actually divorced. So it was like, okay, I'll sign up for it and see what it's about. So it was going to be an 8-week, we'll just say workshop, an 8-week workshop to, help you go through the process in which you're going through. I signed up. I don't remember exactly what the course was about. So I don't remember what topics we discussed, anything like that. But I just remember walking into the workshop and the minister who was leading it, when we got off and got started, she said, I'm not here to help you make a decision. I am not here to tell you what to do. I'm not here to tell you whether or not you should save your marriage or leave your marriage. I'm only here to offer you tools to help you make the decision for yourself, basically. So what you get out of the workshop, prayerfully you can decide. You come out knowing what it is that you want to do as far as your relationship is concerned with, your partner. We went through 8 weeks. I do remember it was an 8-week workshop. And I do know that at the end of the 8 weeks, I came out of it saying that I wanted to actually get a divorce. I knew that there was no going back, that there was nothing that we could resolve. Again, we separated for no real reason. There was no infidelity, there was no drugs, there was no kind of abuse, verbal, emotional, or physical. It was just two people who just should have never been married in the beginning. If you want to know all about why I said that, make sure you go back and visit some of the other videos. It was just two people that just weren't a good fit. So it was concluded that, yeah, I wanted to go ahead and file for divorce. My church also has a legal department, so I was able to go through the legal department and meet up with an attorney. And it was an attorney that I only talked to over the phone. We were able to conduct all business conversations and everything like that. She sent me all the appropriate paperwork that I needed to sign. I was able to sign them, send everything back. We didn't have, my ex-husband and I, we didn't have any property to fight over. We didn't have any children that we had to discuss custody with. There was nothing like that. I wasn't going after alimony. From what I understood, he wasn't going to come after alimony or anything like that. So I hadn't heard from him, so I would assume that he wasn't going to go through anything. So it was, as far as I was concerned, it should have just been a easy kind of thing. In talking, some of the initial conversations that I was having with the attorney, she's like, well, do you think he'll contest the divorce? Because that will determine which way we actually go ahead and file. I'm like, I don't know. I don't see why he would, because we haven't spoken in, just about 2 years. So why would he contest it? And she's like, well, I need you to put your big girl panties on and I need you to call him because we need to know if he's going to contest. Call him What do I need to call him for? I haven't talked to him in over 2 years. I don't even know where he's living. I don't even know how to get in touch with him. She said, well, you're going to start with his phone number. The last phone number that you had for him, you're going to call and you're going to get the answer to this question. So again, you need to put your big girl panties on and you need to call. Again, had not spoken to this man in almost 2 years. I didn't know which way the conversation was going to go. I didn't know what kind of feelings could probably come up as a result of not talking to him in 2 years. Would I be sad? Would I be angry? Would I then want him back because his voice sounds like, oh my gosh, I miss him so much. I had no idea what was going to happen. So it took me a couple of days to get the nerve up to go ahead and call him and, ask this question. And it was, what do I say? Do I ask how he's doing? Do I ask how his daughter's doing? Do I ask how his sister's doing? Do I ask any of these type of questions? Or is it straight like, look, I'm only calling for this reason. Let me figure it out. We'll just see what happens when I call. So I put my big girl panties on and I made the phone call. And I called him. I don't remember, how I greeted him or anything like that, but I just remember asking, I've decided, if it's okay with you, then I'm going to go ahead and file for the divorce. And I just need to know if you're going to contest. And he said, nope. And that was that. That's as quick as the conversation went. Hung up the phone with him, picked it back up again, called the attorney and was like, nope, he's not going to contest. So she says, okay, great. This is how much it's going to cost you. As soon as you send that in the mail, I'll go ahead and get it filed and you should be done and everything should be finalized within the next 90 days. Okay. And I remember this was like the end of August, beginning of September that all of this happened. Okay, no problem. So now here we are. Again, like I said, I had been in this 2-year depression and now I'm trying to pick myself back up and life is great. My child is smiling. I'm smiling. Life is good again. We're good. We're on our way. Like life is great. Let's go ahead and rebuild. Let's see what we do. We resumed all our activities at that time. So if this was 2011, my daughter was still in gymnastics. So she was part of, one of the competition teams. So she was at gymnastics 3 days a week. So I was constantly taking her. It was in the neighborhood. So I was able to just drop her off and come back, 2-3 hours later, pick her up. I was cooking dinner. And again, I was still doing my in-home childcare. So I was, making plans and, that business was running smoothly. Everything was going great. And we were good. I was over it, that was another chapter of my life that we were, just closing the door on. We were good. I felt like I was good. I was over it. It was an unfortunate situation. I felt like I was good. I was in a happy place. All was well. We were getting through, the bills were being paid. I was struggling. That's a whole nother topic that we'll discuss at another time. I was struggling now being single and taking on a house that was meant for a 2-person income. But again, you'll have to tune in to the next episode to truly understand what I went through where that's concerned. But staying on the topic of this right here, going through now officially filing for this divorce, we were great. Was in constant communication with the attorney. She'd tell me what, how the process was going. Occasionally it now went from here to here and now we're waiting for this and then that and then whatever. Like, okay, life is great. I'm cool. Whatever's happening, great. Then we came to December. It was during Christmas time and Christmas is my favorite holiday, my favorite time of year. I put my Christmas decorations up the weekend of Thanksgiving and they stay up until the beginning of January. I love coming home to a lit tree. I love all of it. I think people are nicer during the Christmas season. Families get together more often during the holiday season. I just love that time of year. So it's like everything. So I remember being at home one day, watching the kids that I was watching at the time at the in-home daycare. And I get a call from my attorney. And again, I had never met her in person. All of our transactions and conversations were done over the phone and via mail. She calls one day and she's like, hi, how are you? I'm like, I'm great. She was like, I have an early Christmas gift for you and I would like to personally bring it by for you if you don't mind. And I'm like, okay, great. This is great. I would love to meet you. Finally put a name to the face or put a face to the voice. And that is great. I don't know if she came over that day or the next day, but we arranged for her to come over and she came over to my house beautiful woman. And she came in and she had this manila envelope, and she's just like, it's been a pleasure to talk with you and work with you. Your story was just amazing. You're raising now your daughter on your own, and it seems like you're adjusting well. And I just wanted to come meet you and just, tell you that it has just been a pleasure. And if there's anything I can ever do for you in the future, feel free to reach out. So here's my early Christmas gift to you. And it was my divorce decree. So it was effective December, I want to say 9th or 11th or somewhere in there. And it was like, wow, that was quick. Thank you. I appreciate all the help that you've given me. I appreciate you listening to any stories that I may have had to tell you, and everything like that. And it was like, this is fantastic. The best Christmas gift ever. I'm so happy that this is finally done and over with. And, we're just going to celebrate, and I'm just going to whatever. So I may have called some people. I'm sure I called my mother. I'm sure I called my brother. Tell them, that it was officially over and done with and everything. Hallelujah, it's over. I don't know if I called my best friend at the time. I don't remember. My memory is like terrible. I don't remember a lot of things. I remember things. I just don't remember the small details that were involved in things. I would say like a day may have gone by, maybe 2, and you're like, wow, I'm over it. Like, it's done. It's over. I did it. We're moving on. And then the emotional floodgates open. I'm crying for days. I'm sad for days. And like, what the hell is this about? Why am I going back through these emotions when I did that for 2 full years? Like, this doesn't make any sense. What the heck is going on? Well, there is a reason why we had come to that point, whether I had come to that point. You go through the emotional roller coaster of, oh my God, my marriage isn't working, right? Then you go through the emotional roller coaster of, oh my gosh, we're actually separated. Like, I am on my own. No longer do I have a mate. Like, oh my gosh. So that's an emotional, right? Then it's like, you're over it. Now you're going to file for divorce. We're good. We're building ourselves back up. Life is going to be great. But then this divorce decree comes, and you have this concrete, hard copy representation of the fact that you failed again. You failed at a marriage. It's over. The death has arrived. This is the official death certificate of your marriage. So just like in any death, you now must mourn. And that's what I had learned and had been taught from things that, again, you'll find out in a later video. But now I am mourning the death of my marriage in the form of a piece of paper titled Divorce Decree. So these emotions are happiness because it's over, it's done, there's relief, it's off your shoulders, the stress of all of that is now done regarding the marriage. But now there's the reality of, oh my God, I'm single again, I'm alone again, I'm now just, Imani's mother, and here we are again. Like, now here's the other pity party that now comes from, oh, you're divorced. The stigma that you have from society and, all that comes with that. So you go through anger, you go through sadness, you go through everything. So it's another emotional roller coaster because you are now grieving. You have to grieve. You're now in mourning. You're all of this because you now have the death of a marriage. And the death of anything is hard. It is very, truly hard. And it's, again, something that I went through on my own. It didn't last 2 years. I don't know the amount of time. It was short-lived, a few days, maybe a week, maybe 2. But it's something that you have to go through. I have learned that when you go through emotions, you have to sit in those emotions. And it's okay to sit in those emotions. Some people are like, dry them tears off and go on about your business. We ain't got time to be this, that, and the other. You got to pick up, you got to move on. No, you have to deal with your emotions and your feelings when they are present. Don't try to just tuck them down and ignore them because they're going to come back in some other kind of fashion. They're called triggers. The trigger will happen at some point at the least moment that you expect it. So I have just learned that you have to sit in your emotion. So I had to sit in it, and then you have to just allow yourself to go through it, because if you don't go through that, you're going to carry it on. That's where the baggage comes from. You bring your baggage to the next relationship or next situation, so you have to go through it. And there, again, were a lot of people that I didn't want to call. Like, I felt like I maybe couldn't call my mother because she had never been divorced before. Again, a lot of my friends and my family were in happy relationships and happy marriages from what I saw looking from the outside looking in. So I didn't want to call them burning them. So again, it was something I went through in silence. I suffered again in silence the death of my marriage. And it's just what happens. So anybody that I know since then that has gone through a divorce, I'm like, you know, it's all great, but don't celebrate just yet, because when you get that divorce decree in the mail, it's going to be a whole nother set of emotions. People are like, no, it's not. I'm so happy. I'm going to just be all that. And there have been times when people have called and they're like, you are absolutely right. And it's okay. It's okay to go through the sadness again. It's okay to go through the anger again. It's okay to go through whatever it is you have to go through, but just go through it. Give yourself a time limit to go through it, though. We're not going to sit in this space forever. So give yourself some time. Give yourself a day. Tell yourself that you're going to cry. You can cry for 24 hours. You can cry for 48 hours. You can cry for 72 hours. Then we're going to wash away our tears, and we're going to get up and we're going to keep going. But in the meantime, sit in it. Sit in it. Whatever you have to do to get through it, but just let yourself go through the emotion. But once I went through the emotion and I got all of that out, it went into the file cabinet under divorce, and we moved on. So now it was, again, where do I go from here? What do I do now? I'm officially a single woman. I was not thinking about dating, because again, I just got out of, whatever I just got out of. But how do I even just build myself back up to a level of happiness that God would want me to have? I don't know. Well, what happened was, from that 8-week workshop that I went through, apparently there was so much feedback in a positive way that they decided to start a ministry. So I immediately jumped on that bandwagon, joined that ministry, and it changed my life. Changed my life. How did it change my life? You gotta come back next week to find out. You gotta come back. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, please ask questions. If you have any questions about anything that I have said within these last 3 videos, I would love to answer to the best of my ability. I'm not a professional. I don't have any letters behind my name. I can just speak on personal experience. So please like, comment, question, share, subscribe, but make sure you hit the bell when you subscribe so that you can automatically be notified of any updates or uploads that I give week to week. Again, if this message just touches one person, I feel as though I have done my job. So have a great day. Thank you for watching, and look for another video next week. Bye.